Hey y'all, how are you? Hope you're well. I went pink, pink, pink. I mean, really pink. Isn't that pretty? Happy Valentine's Day. And that's not just for lovers, that's for anybody that you care for friends, family, best friends, all of that. Not just for lovers. Okay? Speaking of lovers, are narcs good in bed? I'm going to say not particularly. The reason I say that is because toxic people do not have the emotional capacity to connect to you in that way. So if you're only into banging, slap some skins, just need to get off, I don't need it to be intense and passionate and grabbing the sheets worthy, I just need to get off, well, then you're going to be fine because you don't require anything from this individual except their body. Now, for those of us that run deeper than that, and physical is not just something that we do because we got nothing better to do, might as well get laid. When you have the capacity, the emotional and mental capacity to connect on that level, it increases the intensity of the act itself. The physical intimacy is intense, a lot more intense when you're connected here. Okay? It was just a romp in the hay, like I said. You don't require nothing. You don't need it to be intense. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, you're okay with a 3 or a 5. But the rest of us that we don't have a problem with being in love, we're not allergic to love, we're not allergic to mental, emotional connection. If you find someone who you think is emotionally intense too, they can give you real love. It not only makes the intimacy, the physical intimacy, 1,000 times better, but you feel stronger. You feel stronger as a couple when you both love each other, and it's not just a thing. Well, for people who are toxic, narcissists in particular, they cannot connect to you mentally, so they're limited to what they could give you. Very limited to what they could give you. They can only give you physical, and it's not going to be as intense necessarily because you're not connected up here, you're just connected physically only. So it's kind of like doing a stranger because you don't know what each other likes, you don't know each other. You're not connected with your mind, body, heart, and soul. You're just connected with your body, which is only a tiny portion of the connection. So, if you're in a solid relationship with somebody, but they have a cluster B disorder, narcissism in particular, like I said, and other disorders, toxicity, misogyny, hatred towards women, which a lot of guys are into that too. They got unresolved issues with their mother, whatever the hell is wrong with them. That toxicity pours into the bedroom because they're not connected to you. They don't care if if you orgasm or not. They don't really care. They are basically completely disconnected from you. And because I'm a deep person, analytical person, deep person, I can tell if I'm in an intimate situation with somebody and they're not there. They're physically there, but that's it. I could feel that. I could sense that. So even though they got the job done, I may have climaxed or whatever, I'm reluctant to ever be involved with that person like that again, even if I love them, because it's empty. It's empty. So no, they're not good in bed. And just because a person has a lot of experience in the bedroom because they spent their entire life manipulating people, so that all the people that they laid, they basically were playing them. They were manipulating them because that's one of the ways that they manipulate people is through physical intimacy, through sex. And you can feel that it's empty You could feel that. You could sense that. Even if they try to fake it, which they're not even capable of faking it. You're going to feel that it's fake. So that takes away from the intensity, and that takes away from the experience being wonderful, because you're getting closeness on a scale of a 1 to a 2, and you're not even getting that, truth be told. They're not capable of loving you. They're not capable of giving their heart. Regardless if you're a couple, engaged, married for 25 years, 30 years, 40 years, you can feel that the sex is dead because they're not mentally connected to you. And so there's more, those of us that are a little more seasoned with life, a little bit more experience, had married experience, extended married experience, we know that there's more to sex than physical. So it needs to be an entire body experience. It needs to be emotionally connected with your heart, connected with your entire being, not just your body parts. There's a whole lot more to it than that. And it's, I don't want to say magical, but if somebody is connected to you, actually really truly connected, and then you become physical with this person, the intensity is through the roof. I mean, your neighbors, if you live in a condo or an apartment or townhouse, somebody gonna have to call the cops and say your neighbor is screaming, I don't know what's going on over there. Because that person's handling their business, because they're connected to you. So just because somebody does you, that does not mean that it's a good experience. It does not mean it's intense. It just means that you're getting done. That's it. That's where the line gets drawn. You're just getting done. And when the person's dead mentally, and again, we can feel that, okay? It's not a good experience. It's just not. So, as you guys know, I was married for 20 plus years. He's a malignant narcissist. I didn't know that. I just thought he was an asshole, like I've said before. And I don't ever remember it being off the wall great sex. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Because, and I've said this before, you got a ring on your finger and this is your so-called husband. But truth be told, if you marry a narcissist, you married yourself. You said vows to yourself, because that person is never going to hold up their end of the bargain. For them, it's a party. You wear a tuxedo and a gown and you have cake at the reception. That is all it is to them. It's a party where they're the center of attention. They don't feel no more connected to you than a man on the moon. Let me say that again. They don't feel no more connected to you than the man on the moon. So just because you are physical with them, just because you are married, just because you adore this person, you love them, you want to protect them, you want to look out for them. If they are a narc, it's a one-way street, honey. It's a one-way street. So they're not good in bed because they can't connect to you. When somebody cannot connect to you, they can't give you great sex. Why do you think a one-night stand isn't really that intense? It may get you off because it's forbidden, it's bad, you shouldn't be randomly doing strays. But it's never going to be the equivalent of, being deeply in love with somebody. It's never going to be like that. Because when it's mutual love, and that's the whole key right there, mutual. Mutual, as in one person's not a mannequin, a Sears mannequin. Sears is a department store for those of you that don't know. Anyway, if they're not a mannequin and they do love you with everything they have, you can feel that when they're close to you. When they're sexual with you, you could feel that. And I felt when I was supposedly married, which I married myself because he wasn't going to hold up his end of the bargain and was never faithful. I didn't know that till we were divorced. Anyway, moving right along. I felt like after he was done, he just did me, and I felt like a married whore. And I've said that before, and I'm not ashamed and embarrassed to say that. He is disconnected. He's dead. He's dead. Rattlesnake that I knew before. The one who's bisexual and all this other shit. He's so lost. He's so lost. And he's another dead corpse. He's a dead person. There is no connection. He can't give you anything physically because he's not there mentally. He can't give you nothing physically. He could go through the motions, pump, pump, pump. Anybody could do that to you. Anybody could get on top of you and rock your world and, all these different positions and bang, bang, bang and all this noise. But when you reflect back on it, you will notice that you didn't feel anything other than the physical. Because that person's not connected to you. They're not even connected to their self. What? They're not even connected to their self. How can they connect to you? That's what makes a person good in bed. Someone who's connected in their mind, body, heart, and soul. Mind, body, heart, and soul. Inside, soul. That's an intense encounter. Someone who would, wrestle a grizzly bear to protect your life. That's hot. That's hot. She's going to want to, you saved her life from a grizzly bear. She's going to want to lay you in the woods right now. Come on, baby. I know you out of breath, but I got something else to make you out of breath. Let's go. Okay. That's hot. Someone who loves you, someone who will protect you, someone who will fight a grizzly bear for you, somebody breaks in your house and they knock that person down a flight of stairs, beat the shit out of them and call the cops, or you call the cops while this is going on. That person just saved your life. Yes, you're going to get done. You know what I'm saying? But there has to be a connection other than genitalia. Otherwise, the person is using your body to masturbate with. Your body is a it's a toy to masturbate with. That's all it is. They're using your body. They'd rather you don't talk or anything else because they're just using your body. So we don't need to have a conversation. Just shut up. Shut up and just let me do my thing. We can sense that. So yes, you did all the right moves and you touched this and you touched that and you did this and you did that and you kissed real deep and passionate or fake passionate because you just try and get off. We can feel that you're not connected. We can feel that. So that makes you lousy in bed. Rattlesnake was lousy in bed. My husband was lousy in bed. The first husband that I had was mediocre. He was okay. Could it have been a lot more intense? Yes. But he was limited too. He wasn't a narcissist, but he was a robot. He was a robot. So, what can you say? If you're using someone's body, they can sense that, they can feel that. And then afterwards you kind of do your thing and lay there and roll over and you don't hug them. You don't caress their face. You don't let them know how much you love them. And if you do, it's fake. We know when you're faking. Come on, we're not dumb. We know when it's fake. So no, they're not good in bed. They might reach the goal of you climaxed. You had an orgasm. But that doesn't make somebody good in bed. It does not make somebody good in bed. Because when you come back to earth from having an orgasm, you will realize that that person wasn't connected to you at all. They were only physically connected. That's not a connection. That's just bumping and grinding. Anybody could bump and grind you. So are they good in bed? No. No. And just because they reached the point of, like I said, they got you to the point of orgasm, you climax, whatever, that does not make them good in bed. The mental connection is what makes them incredible in bed because they truly love you from their heart, mind, body, and soul. And I keep saying that because it is a multi-dynamic thing. It's not A, B. B needs to go inside of A. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, wow, done. That don't make sex good. It makes it just sex. It makes it screwing. When you truly, both of you, you're both mentally healthy and you're both capable, keyword, capable of intense love for your partner can feel that and it makes them go crazy in bed. Makes them go crazy because they can feel your heart. They can feel that you love them. They can feel that you will protect them. They can feel that you're in their corner. They can feel that they're concerned about you. They can feel that. They can sense it. But a person who's dead inside, like a narc or any other mental illness, toxicity, they're not connected. They cannot connect. They just don't. I mean, it's just like this. If you tell a wrestler, professional wrestler, I've said this before. Put on a ballet outfit and some point shoes, and I want you to dance across the stage because we're going to do the Nutcracker, and we want you to be the star. That person can't be in a Nutcracker. He's a professional wrestler. You expect them to do ballet? Are you crazy? That's not going to happen. Well, narcs are no different, and toxic people are no different. They are incapable. They cannot give you what you need. They can only go through the motions. So are they good in bed? Hell no. And, them sleeping with a lot of people because they're whores, and I don't mean, and I'm talking men and women both. They're slutty whores. They will bang, 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 bang. So they're pretty good at what they do because they've been doing it their whole life. They've been banging a lot of people, but that doesn't make them good in bed. It makes them good with the mechanics part of it. But if they're not connected here, they're not good. They're not good in bed. They're just good at the motions. Okay? They're just good at the motions. That ain't cool. So, women in particular have to get out of this notion and this ideology that when you get married, it's so romantic and it's so beautiful, and it's gonna our loving is gonna be so amazing, and we have such a connection, and you've got your ring on and I've got my ring on, and we're holding each other in each other's arms, and it's so intense. And when you're married, it's just a level, it's the highest level two people can be, blah blah blah, want, like Charlie Brown, because that is not the case when you're dealing with a toxic person. Getting married is something they don't need to be doing ever, but they're going to keep doing it because men benefit from being married. They get a housewife, they get a baby dispenser, they get a porn star, they get a therapist, they get a cheerleader, a maid. She does everything and he sits on his behind. So, does that make you good in bed just because you're married to somebody or because they went through the motions? That does not make them good in bed. It does not. They cannot give you intensity, baby. They cannot. Now, if you love them, you may feel some intensity because you think that they love you. But when you, like I said, if you're honest with yourself and you look back at, y'all's rendezvous and these liaisons, physical liaisons, you would realize that you didn't feel any energy coming from them that way. It's like a force field, like a magnetic force field. You don't feel it, but you can feel when they're disconnected. That you can feel if you're honest with yourself. Now, is that depressing to think about? Yeah. But it's better to know that your partner doesn't love you so that you can decide what you want to do about that. And they can't fake that they're deep into you. They can't fake that. That's just not something they can fake. It's something you sense. It's something you feel. They can't fake that. Okay? All right, you guys take care. Much love, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.